great, high-caliber athletes, and that all starts with Maddie Epke for James Madison, the leader in the draw circle, and she just does everything.
Yeah, I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, miss all everything from draw controls to scoring goals, assists. Maddie, obviously this past week garnishing all all offensive player conference honors.
Yeah, attack player of the week inside the AAC. Well, for UVA, Jenna DiNardo, an all-ACC freshman team member last season, and she's following it up this year, 24 goals already for the Cavaliers. And you see 7 assists along with it. This UVA offense has a really healthy balance. DiNardo we highlight, but there's a lot of players that can get it done as well, like Abby Manalang. This is also a really young team for UVA. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First on the side for James Madison, Maddie Waybreck, Ava Bleckley, Carolyn Thistlewaite, Olivia Matthews, Maggie Clark, of course Maddie Epke, Brianna Manella, Ava Main, Reese Cuviello, Adanya Moyer, Savannah Derry, and Josie Pell. Well, we mentioned Adanya Mora. There has been a little bit of a switch up, if you will, inside the cage for the Dukes. It was Caitlin Bowden. Now Adanya Moyer is getting the nod, and she has played really well inside the cage.
Yeah, and I think you can't talk enough about all the things that those that are watching only see during games. What Adanya has brought to the team in these past 4 years that she's been as a part of the squad. She has been positive and relentlessly a positive contributor from the sideline.
Yeah.
She has deserved her time in between the pipes, and she is taking advantage of it.
All right, battle for the draw. It's going to be Maddie Epke and Kate Gallica. Epke is coming off the heels of becoming the all-time draw controls leader with James Madison, passing Isabella Peterson. Epke has 330, and we are underway here at Centera Park. The Dukes coming off a 20-8 victory against Vanderbilt on the road, and you have a UVA team coming off a big win against Duke, 16-11.
And that was a nail-biter of a game.
UVA actually trailed 6-0 in the first quarter, but it was a big-time second half where they outscored Duke 10-1, specifically in the third quarter. A JMU offense led by a lot of young players, and there is a turnover caused by UVA. Out on the break early. This Cavaliers team is potent on the offensive end. And just like that, it's a goal for the Cavaliers. A hot start for UVA.
Yeah, you were talking about this. Lacrosse is such an interesting game of runs. JMU has experience starting out with a lead, starting out from behind. You talked about UVA being at a deficit against Duke and then coming back, and they start out tonight in the opposite way. Good feed and finish opposite post.
Yeah, and that was Addie Foster with the assist and Kate Gallica with the goal. So that's goal number 17 for Gallica this year and assist number 9 for Addie Foster.
Yep. We'll talk about that a little later. Addie Foster, just a hometown kid. Yeah. That player that always went to those UVA camps from St. Anne's Belfield. Just right, literally a stone's throw from University of Virginia. Having a great career for the Cavaliers.
All right, we do it again inside the circle. Epke flicks it up, and it's Cavalier possession. It's going to be an interesting battle in regards to the draw controls, given how skilled Maddie Epke is, but also Kate Gallica for the Cavaliers. Well, they've already gotten off to a quick start as we have a foul called.
That was a shooting space violation. Yep. Cavaliers doing a nice job getting into the attacking zone off a transition and just moving the ball quickly. JMU does not look very settled in their zonal defense yet.
Peyton Sofredo on the far side. She shoots and scores. Sofredo, 2 quick goals for UVA. It's goal number 5 for the freshman out of Rye, New York.
There's a lot of New Yorkers on this University
is.
of Virginia roster. My home state.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
To be specific, it is 9 players from the state of New York for UVA.
Not too much of a change of level there. Just pick that upper right-hand corner on that non-stick side of Moyer, and just really beautiful placement.
Sofredo, who played for the #1 prep school in New England in high school, was a USA Lacrosse All-American. This is a Cavaliers team that went 14-6 last season, made it to the semis of the ACC and the second round of the NCAA tournament. They started off quick, winning their first 10 games of the year, and Kate Gallica gets it herself. It's not very often you're going to see Maddie Epke lose in the draw battle, but Virginia getting possessions early, that's a good sign.
Yeah, well, yeah, good sign for the Cavaliers for sure. We saw in the last home game and early in the season, Maddie Epke was dominating the draw control like you just don't see very often in this game. And I think University of Florida threw some kinks at Epke with the draw. Some other teams have watched film and come up with some strategies to help ensure that the draw control is a more level playing field.
Here's Jenna DiNardo. Addie Foster, she's already created 1 goal for the Cavaliers. You also have Sofredo with a stick. I mean, it is death by 1,000 cuts when you face this UVA team, but one of the big notes this season, Nora, they've scored 110 goals as a team. 78 of those goals come by way of either a freshman or a sophomore.
Yeah, and Jenna DiNardo is just no joke. She's that type of player that can take over a game. You know, she's talked to Coach Clace a little bit about, I think Duke spent a good bit of the game face guarding her, and what Coach Clace was telling me, at some point Duke decided to take that off, and DiNardo just exploded again for the Cavaliers. So she has the ability to do that.
Sofredo has the stick. She weaves in. Good defense by the Dukes. And that is 23, Ava Main. Ava Main, a mainstay in the back line for James Madison.
Yeah, you just talk about the impact. The Cavaliers having some really strong freshmen and sophomores, and likewise with last year's outstanding graduating class for the Dukes, some freshmen, Ava Main being one of them, have really stepped up.
All right, you mentioned Jenna DiNardo. She has it in the stick right now on the far side. Weaves in, and good block by Adanya Moyer. Moyer, you know, we talked about the goalkeeping battle for James Madison. Oh, dangerous threat, and it's stolen away. How about Chloe Bleckley?
Yeah, and Carolyn Thistlethwaite, that was a really, really nice, clean double. And Thistlethwaite, you know, the leader of this defensive unit.
You had Thistlethwaite, and then you also had Bleckley, who was in on the mix defending. This is Bleckley. You got 2 Bleckleys on the Dukes. Nice pass to Derry, and James Madison's on the board.
That is what and where Savannah Derry does it the best. And Maggie Clark, we talked about last time we were on the broadcast, just a really strong defensive midfielder. Clark has just been stepping up her attacking game.
Savannah Derry, it's goal number 20 on the season. The senior out of Roanoke, Virginia, puts the Dukes on the board.
Yeah, we talk about Bleckley gets the ball in safely. Maggie Clark sees Savannah Derry on the cut inside the 8-meter. Beautiful, just quick stick fake, and that tall frame with that high release just finishes really, really well.
So assist number 2 of the season for Maggie Clark. You know, Savannah Derry is an interesting player for the Dukes because speaking with head coach Shelley Clays of James Madison, she said she really wants to use her basketball background, using her high in the offense right now, and obviously it's paid off. Gallica and Epke will go at it again, and this time Maddie Epke will get it done. It seems like it's been an aggressive approach defensively from UVA here, Nora, whenever Jamie has possession in the midfield.
Yeah, again, some teams, things are getting really functionally specific, which just means, you know, attacking midfielders, defensive midfielders. So oftentimes you see line changes when there's a change of possession, which takes away, for some teams, they choose to kind of take away the opportunity to ride or press. We've seen UVA try to press the midfield a little bit. So far, JMU is doing a good job taking care of the ball in transition.
Patience right now, moving it around the horn. There's Olivia Matthews, the outstanding freshman for the Dukes, who has put the whole world on watch. Nice pass from Madison, but better defense from UVA. It was ripped clean by Olivia Bruno. And now James Madison gets it back.
Great interception, and then really nice redefending by the Dukes to win that ball back before the Cavaliers were able to get out on transition.
You know, we were on hand for the James Madison-Richmond game, I believe, and you didn't see much activity in the midfield. It was essentially both teams clearing it every time. That's been the exact opposite here today.
And, you know, there's a lot of pride and competitiveness in this matchup that, you know, I think early on in the game we're going to see different things. But players are going to fight, as we see, right, for every loose ball.
Well, that's Claire Kolegi, who was in defense. You got Lauren Savage. It's Olivia Mattis. She's dangerous. Nice pass inside from Epke, and Derry just misses high.
It is really good to see. A couple games ago, I think Derry was trying to catch and dodge. We're seeing her just post up like that big basketball player role and put herself in good positions even though she missed that shot.
Mel Josephson's in the cage for UVA. Mattis, nice pass inside. Derry can't get it through. We talked about the JMU goalkeeping position, but UVA, it's almost the exact same thing, Nora. And see Mattis, nice pass. And this is a frantic start to this top 15 matchup.
But
Well, I mentioned Mel Josephson. I want to start with her. 12.26 goals against average, but it was Abby Jansen who played the final 40 minutes in the cage for UVA against Duke. Had 5 saves, allowed 3 goals. So you have 2 teams that have used 2 goalkeepers.
It's a game of runs, and sometimes you just need, you know, the game is just getting faster and faster.
Yeah.
The women's game is getting faster and faster. And sometimes you just need to give a goalkeeper a mental break, or you need to try to bring somebody new in just to get that save to help boost the defense and give them some confidence. And in the case of, obviously, the Dukes, Adana Moyer has stuck in the change, and they feel good about her right now. And part of that is how she gels with the defense.
Head coach Sonia LaMonica for UVA. I asked her about the goalkeeping spot, and she essentially reverberated what you just said. It's a team thing, and there's a lot of things that have to go wrong for a goal to be scored. So it wasn't necessarily, oh, that was a nice pass, but JMU defends it well. That's Ava Main out on the break, but she talked about the idea. It's not necessarily you're switching the goalie because they played bad. It's more so getting a different look, just seeing what'll stick in what is a sport that is hard to read, hard to tell sometimes, given the pace of play like you've mentioned.
Yeah, you just don't know. Sometimes the goalkeeper just isn't getting a good beat on the ball, and it is more about how they are or aren't seeing shots. Other times, sometimes it's just the communication between the goalkeeper and the defensive unit. Either way, sometimes a change is good, and that has proved, you know, to be beneficial for both teams in different ways.
It's a good start for JMU, respectively, given in the first quarter, it's the only quarter this season that they have a negative margin. They're being outscored 16-30 in the opening period. Just trailed by 1 here at Centera Park. Both sides have played a daunting schedule already. Both sides have played UNC. Pass inside, flicked up by Matthews, but blocked by Josephson.
Really good save by Josephson, but I think I say this almost every game. My head coach, Dee McDonough, I know you're listening into this. Well, or unless you're probably in the stands, but Olivia Matthews there has got to throw a fake and change her level, and she kind of threw that, to be fair, right at stick side. But JMU is moving the ball quickly on offense, which is good. It keeps the defense turning. And on the flip side, I would say defensive coordinator for the Dukes, Cateri Linville, has got to be pleased with the way her defense responded after UVA scored 2 quick goals. They've been much more aggressive but patient, sliding well on the double teams and coming up with some caused turnovers.
UVA averaging just under 14 goals a game this season. they've already played 5 teams in the top 20 in the country. And of course, they're in the best conference in lacrosse in the ACC. James Madison played number 2 UNC, number 8 Maryland, number 5 Florida. I mean, it is ridiculous when you look at these 2 teams and what they've already had to face, and it only gets tougher.
Again, another good stand there in those moments for the JMU defense. It looks like there's kind of a breathe moment. We've seen some really quick ball movement. It looked like UVA was trying to take some time off the clock to relax, and draws the shooting space violation there.
Seems like a bit of frustration from the stick of Carolyn Thistlewaite after that whistle. You know, this is a matchup where a lot of these players have likely seen each other in the high school ranks. A lot of familiarity. Sofredo kicks it back.
Yeah, a lot of these girls have been playing against each other in club tournaments, for many years. And when you're playing against or with as teammates, and then you make the decision when, someone goes one way, someone goes another way, and then you're facing them for 4 years.
Good looking chance for UVA, drifting inside, and Moyer steps in front.
Moyer did a beautiful job tracking that ball. That was a low feed, one-on-one crease roll. And Moyer, one of what I find to be one of her greatest strengths is her stepping angle before the shot. She makes the goal smaller and just really steps and uses her body to her advantage to make the scoring space harder.
Yeah. Kate Gallica. Weaving inside through multiple defenders, it's Jenna DiNardo. Just powerful through the fan.
She's a goal. There, in some ways, there's no way she should have scored that goal, but she has that big-time goal scorer confidence. I think maybe 4 JMU defenders, we're going to look at this, slid towards that. DiNardo gets it on the side of the 8-meter. One slide comes, second slide comes. She just determination and power.
The leading goal scorer for UVA, and Jenna DiNardo gives UVA goal number 3, and it's the Cavaliers on top here in the first quarter.
Behind every team is a great community. Door Gorilla is proud to be the official garage door provider for JMU Athletics and proud to support their community. When you need a garage door, call 540-740-DOOR and show your support for JMU this season. Go Dukes!
Why is Commonwealth One the one for you?
Because it meant the one with heated seats and a hybrid engine.
Because our daughter's got only 3 credits to go before graduation.
Because it means one less stop before heading home.
For over 75 years, Commonwealth One has been the one, committed to helping our members and our communities thrive. So whether you're a longtime resident or just new to our community, come home to the best banking experience you've ever known.
Commonwealth One, for you, for life.
Back here on ESPN Plus. Well, Nora, you alluded to it in the open of our broadcast. This is a deep history between James Madison and UVA, the 55th all-time meeting, and Virginia just multiply it times 2. That's their lead, 36-18 against the Dukes. The first matchup coming in 1974. Now, you're much more versed on this series than I am, but I mean, we're already seeing it. The level of competition and the pace in this game, it's just different than what we've seen at the start of this season.
Yeah, I mean, it is one of the most historic rivalries in women's lacrosse, and, 2 of the most historic programs, which just one of the things we don't get a lot of time to talk about is just the strength of the history of Virginia women's sports really being at the forefront.
what's fun as well is you've got two coaches who have battled a lot back in the CAA, because you had James Madison with head coach Shelley Clays, but you also had Sonia LaMonica, who was over with Towson for an extended period of time. So they've seen plenty of each other, and Coach LaMonica joked with me saying that, you know, they've both had their fair share of good results, and James Madison will award a foul here inside the fan.
Just Savannah Derry's like just the way she's carrying herself and moving in the box, creating scoring opportunities, and here drawing an 8-meter looks like just the start that the Dukes want to see.
Derry dead down the middle, tosses the stick, and there is goal number 2 for JMU.
And I think that's shot number 5 for Savannah Derry already on the night, and that just bodes really well. The coaches want her to have the green light, want Derry to have the green light, and they want her to really make things happen for the Dukes. And we've seen that come and go a little bit depending on the game, but Derry is really locked in tonight. Snapping that ball low from that high frame of hers, making it very difficult to save.
This game has to be a bit sweeter, if you will, for Savannah Derry, because her father, Walt, played football at UVA, and her mother, Megan, was a track and field athlete at UVA. So I'm sure there's some interesting banter going on with that family and the Derry household.
I think if we look down there, I would not say that the Derry family is probably split in purple and orange. I think that
they're
having to change their loyalties while their daughter's here playing for the Dukes.
I agree, but I'm sure the jokes don't stop. All right, well, it's been a really, really good battle between Epke and Gallica so far, and Gallica wins this one, scoops up the ground ball.
Yeah, we talked about Epke at the top of the show. So far, she's been relatively quiet, but that doesn't mean, obviously, that the Dukes aren't keeping it close.
Kate Gallica's got records of her own in the draw control statistic. We talked about Epke, all-time record for the Dukes. Well, Kate Gallica set the UVA freshman record with 97 draw controls in a single season. 3-2 score line. Excuse me. Savannah Derry, both goals for the Dukes. Drifting inside, Alex Riley. Just powerful.
That was a great draw up or a great play call by the Cavaliers. That was an ISO clear out. Obviously, that's a matchup that the Cavaliers think that they can take advantage of there, and that was a one-on-one. No slide came for the Dukes, and great job for that Cavalier attacker there.
Alex Riley, the freshman out of Fort Washington, Pennsylvania, who picked up a goal in her debut against Liberty this season, adds goal number 5 to the tally this year.
Yeah, Bria Manella opens up and really allows that attacker to get this to her strong side, stick side. That slide came a little bit late for the Dukes. Lauren Savage, and score one for the Cavaliers.
Draw control battle is 3-3 right now for Epke and Gallica. And this one somehow finds the stick of Maddie Epke. JMU is coming in with a lot of momentum. They only allowed 1 goal in the second half against Vanderbilt in their last game. 20 goals scored in total. That was the highest mark they put on this season. There's Maggie Clark. Derry. The double team, and the foul is going to be called on Abby Manilang. Or rather, Manilang picks up the turnover.
Yeah, that was a charge. You know, I got to dig into my rule book on that one. I'm not sure exactly how that's interpreted. It didn't look forceful, but the Cavaliers did a really nice job sliding to the ball, and Dukes have to figure out, you know, if Derry needs to step away there a little earlier and dish it to somebody whose man has slid. But great stop for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, I jumped the gun a little bit on that one. It was good defense, it looked like, from Manilang, and it was. it also looked like a foul potentially.
You're saying, last year we talked a lot about Hannah Morgan, did a lot of damage and had a lot of assists and goals for the Dukes. The Dukes are really trying to figure out that X position. We see Brie Medela taking up that X spot for the Dukes and just, needing to find her groove and emerge as a feeder.
Yeah. That was one of the things Coach Clays talked about to open up this season, was getting some of these players established inside their roles. There's good defense again by the Cavaliers.
Yeah, it was a good save there. I thought Matthews is trying to find her spot, but she's forcing some kind of lower percentage shots, which feeds into the hands of the outstanding job that the Cavaliers are doing so far.
Nicole Crutherds has it right now out of Alexandria, Virginia. 20 ground balls last season, started 19 of the 20 games. UVA picked to finish third in the preseason poll of the ACC. Here's a dangerous threat. Sofredo going to back it out. Cavaliers are a team that do not turn it over often. They are 6th in the nation in fewest turnovers per game at just under 12. Manning. Oh, nice catch. The shot almost found its way in. Instead, Moyer altering it. That was impressive from Gallica to even have a chance.
Foul called there. The ball goes back to the Cavaliers.
Yeah, that's Gabby Laverghetta, number 43 for UVA, that took the tumble.
Great save by Moyer.
Oh, Sofredo, great save by Moyer again. To end the first quarter, Adania Moyer stepping up in the cage.
Great double save to end the quarter and keep it within 2 for the Dukes.
It's a 4-2 scoreline. UVA leads, but it has been an impressive outing already for Adania Moyer. This is a battle with plenty of intensity. You can feel it here at Centera Park. Evenly battled. James Madison UVA. Cavaliers lead 4-2.
Nestled in the heart of the Shenandoah Valley, Cross Keys Vineyards is all about experiences, the unique spaces, the exquisite views, the delicious bistro creations, and of course the award-winning wine, all combined to create experiences you will never forget with those you love most. And when you bring home a bottle of wine from Cross Keys Vineyards, you bring part of that experience home with you. Come experience all that Cross Keys Vineyards has to offer you. Reservations available online at crosskeysvineyards.com.
is proud to support the JMU Dukes. And with gig speeds, we're keeping things real, as in real reliable speeds, real people who really want to talk to you, not to mention real simple pricing. Switch to Glo Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month of internet free. Call 1-833-WANT-GLO or visit glofiber.com to switch today. Faster, better fiber internet. Now that's Glo Fiber. Go Dukes!
Well, there's a look at head coach Sonia LaMonica in her second season with the Cavaliers, but it was the first year that was pretty good. The 2024 ACC Co-Coach of the Year, a 5-time CAA Coach of the Year when she spent her time at Towson, and was a tremendous 4-year player at the University of Maryland. For James Madison, it is Shelly Clays for the Dukes in her 19th season with the program, a two-time All-American with the Dukes back in her playing days, and of course, Nora, 2018 national champions. That's always going to be the thing that sticks out until the Dukes pick up another, but it's been a remarkable career for Coach Clays.
Yeah, again, as an alumni of the program, you know, the alumni can't be any more proud of what Shelly Clays has done here with the Dukes. She just, every year, it competes, every year is challenging for a conference championship, a postseason, that goes on, and really bleeds purple and gold, you know, something the JMU alumni say.
So Kate Gallica wins the opening draw in the second quarter. A 4-2 scoreline, Cavaliers lead. And what has been a remarkable season for both sides. A 5-3 record for UVA, but those losses come by way of Stanford, Navy, and North Carolina. James Madison, their 2 losses come by way of UNC and Maryland. Those are 2 top 5 teams inside the nation. James Madison has not lost back-to-back contests at home in over 3 years. They would not want today to be the day that renews. And it's going to be a foul inside and a free position opportunity for the Cavaliers. You got Gabby Laverghetta, who scored her first career goal last game against Duke. The freshman out of Baltimore, Maryland. On the far side, flicks it back.
Another one of those we talk about so many sister relationships. Gabby's twin also on the roster from just perennial powerhouse Garrison Forest.
How about the side-winding shot on the far side? A goal for the Cavaliers. And a scorcher at that. It took one hop past the cage, and it's 5-2, who's lead. Gallica opens it up.
Yeah, just sidewinder from the outside. It's great to mix it up. That's a really good recognizing the triple team and nice feed to the side of the 8-meter, and always great to crank that up. That goal by Addie Foster
So the assist
shows her power.
Goes to Kate Gallica. The goal goes to Addie Foster. Foster has been on a tear this season. It's goal number 15. She has 8 assists and scored 3 goals last game against Duke. Gallica, that was assist number 4 on the year.
Gallica back at the center circle again. This has been a good battle off the draw with Maddie Epke.
I mean, I could just go down the laundry list of awards Epke has gotten at the draw control line. She holds the JMU single game record in draw controls with 19. That was against Richmond last season. But again, that was renewed because she had 20 draw controls in the last game against Vanderbilt for the Dukes.
But Gallica, yeah, this has been a really even matchup.
Oh, Sofredo puts it in.
Great cut by Sofredo against the 8-meter. The JMU defense got caught sleeping there a bit. That would have been a tough one for any goalkeeper to save with Sofredo wide open there coming across the 8-meter. I think the JMU defense overreacted to a potential outside shot again. Sofredo pulls away, a little bit of a miscommunication there you can see between the JMU defenders. Sofredo, that second cutter, takes advantage, and she's just shooting that point blank on the crease.
Second goal of the game for Sofredo. Just a freshman. Most of the players you're going to see score will be freshmen or sophomores for the Cavaliers.
Dukes are really needing a draw control here to settle things down and stop the bleeding a bit.
5-4 lead for UVA at the draw control battle. Epke coming off 20 draw controls against Vanderbilt. And the Who's just continue to battle it out.
Yeah, no, that was Gallica. Gallica's teammate on the circle pulled away to a spot where she was alone, and Gallica drew the ball right to her.
Flick in the middle. Somehow it's corralled and scored by Laverghetta. it looked like it was good defense. Josie Pell in defense, but it ricocheted right to Laverghetta.
Yeah, the Cavaliers are on a tear right now, and
so you saw there.
Just a quick ground ball control right there. Yep, just kind of, sometimes better to be lucky than good. And no, Laverghetta did a nice job just quickly getting that ball off the ground and again, catching Moyer a little bit off guard.
Another freshman score for UVA. Out of Baltimore, Maryland, was a two-time Nike Select athlete with Team Maryland.
LaMonica could not ask for a better start on the road, coming and playing at, what is usually a difficult place to win here at Centera Park.
I already told you it's been over 3 years since JMU has lost back-to-back games at home.
Matthews comes up with the ball there on the draw for a much-needed possession on attack for the Dukes. You can see the Cavaliers are extending their defense a little bit, applying some pressure, but the Dukes have now settled in.
This is also game number 900 for the JMU lacrosse program.
Such a cool thing. It's 900 games. It's pretty amazing.
I have to get a check on the overall for UVA in regards to games played in this program's history. Bleckley, nice job. It's a foul.
Yeah, the Cavalier defender kind of lunged for the interception on that, and Bleckley was able to just get a dodge and draw shooting space violation there.
Prime opportunity for the Dukes. Chloe Bleckley, good block by Josephson. I mean, it was point blank, dead down the middle, and Josephson said, not so fast.
Yeah, it's going to go down as a save for Josephson, but to be fair, she didn't have to move too much to get that. That was not a great shot by Bleckley.
Mel Josephson, the junior out of Seabright, New Jersey, coming into this game has 53 saves on the year.
There's a 50-yard clear by Josephson. That's pretty impressive. Thistleweight driving that Cavaliers attacker away.
UVA 5 for 8 on clears in this game. JMU 2 for 2. Here's a free position opportunity for the Hoos. This one drifting inside, and Moyer steps in front.
Yeah, the Dukes needed to stop there defensively. Looked like Moyer got a leg on that, didn't she, David?
Yeah, it looked like she did. Now JMU needs to find the clear, and that's a tough turnover.
That's a Sun turnover,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I don't think that Bleckley saw that ball as it came to her. That was probably not the best choice on a pass over there, but the Dukes are back defending again.
Straight down the middle, Kate Gallica takes it herself in plenty of room.
Yeah, that was just, I think after that turnover on the clear, the Dukes just were caught sleeping again. That's kind of twice in a row. That's the defense, the JMU defense looks like they had snapped back into action and really were locked in. UVA has found some gaps. I think Gallica looks surprised that she's undefended, literally goes right down the heart of the defense, undefended, and gets a really nice finish on Moyer, point blank.
Kate Gallica ready to build a house with all the space she had inside the 8-meter. The ACC Freshman of the Year gives UVA goal number 8 in this matchup. Top 15 matchup at that. And James Madison finds themselves trailing by 6 goals early in this second quarter. We'll see what they draw up and how head coach Shelly Clays can respond to this deficit. But first, we will step aside here on ESPN Plus with an animated, rather, we're going to stay here. So with that, you're down by 6. What is the message from Coach Clays right now talking to this Dukes team?
There might be a couple beeps if I were to say exactly what I think Coach Clays is saying down there.
Fair point.
Get your beep together and compete. You know, this is a pride thing, and this is, kind of Duke dog pride, but it is, the Cavaliers have been smooth. They've been executing. They're calm. JMU has just been streaky. They've had some good moments on defense, haven't looked that clean on attack with the exception of Darius Confidence. So, Clace is saying, we don't need to do anything we haven't done all season, but we need to do what we can do, what we're capable of right now before this gets away from us before the half.
So I mentioned the first quarter being a struggle for JMU. As far as this season goes, when you look at the splits, the second quarter has been their best, a +11 margin. The second closest is +7 margin. That's in the third period. But obviously, you're playing a UVA team right now, and it's just different. But the Hoos have came out and been a resilient bunch. And how about Kate Gallica? She has done a tremendous job against Epke in the draw battle. And she's also has 2 goals to her name in this one.
And listen, Maddie Epke, All-USA, unbelievable summer with the U20s, had a great start to the season. Quite honestly, sometimes you just got to do that thing that we saw Isabella Peterson do so often last year and say, give me the ball, clear out, let me go find a goal for our team because we need it desperately.
How about this? Gallica scoops it up as it drifted near side. UVA.
Epke's looking around like, I'm not sure what I am or aren't doing, but Gallica is really been monster on the draw for the Cavaliers. Really can't say enough about, her dominating Maddie Epke right now. I think we might see the freshman draw specialist coming in for the next draw for the Dukes.
The sun almost caught up to Addie Foster for UVA. It's bright out here. You have the shade on the near side, but when you get to the far side of this pitch, it is very bright, and we've already seen it been an issue for both sides. So that was 5 and white, Ava Bleckley, the sister of Chloe Bleckley. And James Madison, they need something big here. And the defense by Madison Alimo, a name we have not called yet, but Alimo has been so impressive for UVA, the sophomore out of New York. You see the scrum.
Yeah, Reese Cuviello kind of threw that transition ball away last time. She tried to do it herself this time. To be fair, the Dukes were lucky to have gotten away with getting this ball into the attacking end. The Dukes really need to solve some problems here on transition and clean that up a little bit.
Who is going to create for James Madison? In such a big game at home. Here's Epke, sidewinding shot, Josephson blocks. It looked on frame, but Josephson gets the better of Maddie Epke.
High stick side, it is a save and a really good save. There was good power on that, but it was to Josephson's 6 stick side. If you're gonna crank that ball up, you gotta find the corners, make it a little bit more difficult. So Epke did what she needed to do. She got to goal, but the Dukes need a finish.
Well, now they need a stop as UVA has set up camp. Good job by Moyer. A savvy play as Laverghetta tried to get it over her head.
Moyer's doing her part. That was a really, really nice interception. It's just about, you would say maybe Moyer isn't the most athletic or maybe the quickest goalkeeper, but her positioning and the shape of her body makes up for that.
Nice scoop from Ava Main. Josie Pill. It's been a UVA defense so far that has been stifling this JMU attack. You also have Bree Manella playing that X spot for the Dukes.
Looks like Olivia Mattis, while she wasn't going to goal, she passed that down low. I do think she drew a free position shot here.
It is a free position opportunity. Flick back.
Can't say enough about the Cavaliers' defense right now, holding the Dukes to only 2 goals as we get halfway through the second quarter.
Defense has been sturdy, and that's thanks to a grouping that Coach LaMonica really likes. We haven't even called the name of Lara Kolegi yet, but she has been tremendous in that back line. And how about Mel Josephson? Talk about tremendous. That is save number 6.
Yeah, it was a good feed inside to Lauren Savage. The defending was tight. She didn't have a lot of room to maneuver her stick. But again, Josephson steps up in her crease and makes a good save.
UVA with a few changes. Alex Riley steps in. You also have Corey White out of Chevy Chase, Maryland, which when I saw that, I did have a double take.
Looks like Maddie Epke has gotten a green card, is spending a minute in the box or sin bin timeout box. I'm sure we can go on and on with all the nicknames we can possibly think of. Needless to say, the Cavaliers are warming up for a minute with already quite a lead. Yeah, Alex Riley was pretty open there for a second. JMU is not communicating well on the Cavalier cutters. The Cavaliers are doing a great job of making explosive cuts against the 8-meter, and the JMU defense, is especially woman down, is going to have to adapt.
And this one is scorched through the cage for UVA.
That was a rocket of a shot.
And it looks like
we're going to wait here. We're going to wait here on the replay to confirm. I believe that was number 43.
Gabby Laverghetta. So Laverghetta, who picked up her first career goal against Duke last game, picks up her first goal of this game, and UVA 9-2 lead over James Madison. We step aside on ESPN+.
Behind every team is a great community. Door Gorilla is proud to be the official garage door provider for JMU Athletics and proud to support their community. When you need a garage door, call 540-740-DOOR and show your support for JMU this season. Go Dukes!
Why is Commonwealth One the one for you?
Because it meant the one with heated seats and a hybrid engine.
Because our daughter's got only 3 credits to go before graduation.
Because it means one less stop before heading home.
For over 75 years, Commonwealth One has been the one, committed to helping our members and our communities thrive. So whether you're a longtime resident or just new to our community, come home to the best banking experience you've ever known.
Commonwealth One, for you, for life.
Well, JMU Dining, it's where great food and fun meet. Eat like a Duke. Of course, JMU Athletics would like to thank its Team Madison sponsors, Pepsi and Centera. Nora McGuire-White, David Hovey on hand for a top 15 matchup. The number 12 Virginia Cavaliers and the number 14 James Madison Dukes here at Centera Park. And it's a 7-goal lead right now for the Hoos over the Dukes. Nora, I know that we've talked a bit about head coach Shelley Clays for James Madison, where the adjustments are, but I'll flip that. What has UVA done so well to give them this lead?
Yeah, I mean, you really can't. I think, you know, some of the shine and glitter wore off what was, you know, a perpetual powerhouse UVA program under Jane Miller, and just what was going on just kind of wore off a little bit. LaMonica has just done, she could not be more pleased with what her team is doing right now. They've got energy, they've got fire, they've got commitment on both ends of the field, and they're just blowing JMU out of the water right now. JMU, I would like to say it doesn't even look JMU got off the bus, but maybe, left their houses tonight. Right now, they're kind of just disgracing this JMU program on their home field, and it just goes to show you, despite a loss to Stanford, who is on the rise in the ACC, this UVA team came to play tonight.
Well, Kate Galka has done a lot of favors for UVA, especially in this position right here against Maddie Epke, who has been so decorated in regards to draw control. She even set a Team USA record with 110 draw controls when she was selected to the all-world team in the World Lacrosse U20 Women's Championship. There's a lot going on in the sport of lacrosse, specifically on the women's side, which has been a really cool thing we've talked with head coach Shelley Clays about. And I mean, you even have players on the UVA side who've gotten involved. We've seen assistant coaches get involved. As this scrum, Maddie Epke comes away with it.
And she had to kind of dig that when she kind of drew it right to herself, and then when she went to kind of catch it, it just got away from her. So she just kind of Epke dug in there and got that ball back.
It looks like we have a yellow card given out on Kate Galka. Or rather, Galka is just going to get her stick changed. I thought for a second there was a card flashed, but I stand corrected. Nobody's sitting out. James Madison in desperate need of a score here.
And looking for answers, we see number 7, Caitlin Carney on the field, sophomore Caitlin Carney on the field for the first time for the Dukes. Kind of just looking for somebody to come up with something to break the ice in hopes of a JMU run to start closing this gap.
Bleckley drifting. Olivia Matthews could be the player that sparks things for the Dukes. Pass inside. And the defense in the middle has just been so superb. That was Corey White for UVA.
One of the things I'd like to see Epke do is the slide is coming quick, and as she's veering off, the slide is going back. It'd be good to see Epke try to re-attack. Trying a little bit of that there. Clark tries to thread the needle there. A good knockdown by the Cavaliers defense.
Pass inside, flicked, but Josephson is there. Mel Josephson, you can't say enough about how steady she has been in the cage.
Yeah, that was a nice save. Clark tried to go through the 9-hole there on a good catch and finishing attempt, but these JMU shots don't have a lot of power or great placement. It's really just been not a good shooting night in the times that the Dukes have gotten the shot off. The Cavaliers' defense is really making things tough.
Josephson, she was the starter last season for UVA. Started all 20 games for the Cavaliers. Obviously, you had to switch late against Duke in the last game for Virginia. So a foul called on JMU and a free position for UVA. Alex Riley has it. Riley ready to rip it, and Moyer steps in front.
Great save by Moyer. And you hear her dad just erupting in the stands down here, just trying to urge the JMU offense to get a goal. His daughter's having one heck of a night.
Well, she's in double digits now, Nora, with 10 saves in this game. How about the effort? Ava Bleckley there to get the clear. So JMU 5 for 6 on clears now in this game. Matthews. Seems like such a cohesive back line for UVA. Just not much space to operate. Manella in the X spot for the Dukes. Pass in the middle. Matthews puts it through. I mentioned the freshman Olivia Matthews might be the spark the Dukes need. And it's goal number 3 for James Madison. I mean, it was sitting at 2 goals for that entire second quarter until now.
Yeah, I was going to say, how many minutes has it been since JMU has scored their last goal? Olivia Matthews has shown some real shine for the in the future, scoring from different spots. Gets herself nestled. She's not got a big frame. Gets herself nestled in that 8-meter tight to the crease and just maneuvers that finish.
The freshman out of Bedford, New Hampshire. 2 goals last game, 10 goals this season. And Coach Clay has talked about trying to develop Matthews into that crease position. She has great composure and skill as a freshman. Epke will stay with the draw battle. Gallica's done such a good job so far today. And the Dukes, being down by 6, need every possession they can get.
It would be a good time for the Dukes to try to make a little bit of a run before halftime.
Nice scoop by Matthews.
Smart decision, not afraid to go back to Thistlethwaite back there.
The Cavaliers were perfect on the defensive end almost for the entirety of this second quarter until Matthews ripped the first goal.
Cavaliers are chasing this ball, which should mean the 8-meter should be wider open, but you see the JMU attack is really spread out.
Yeah. You also see a few new faces right now for JMU. Jordan Peterson is in the game. That is the sister of the decorated Isabella Peterson, one of the greatest players to ever walk through the doors of JMU women's lacrosse. Savannah Derry also back on. Haven't called her name really at all in this quarter. But obviously she is a mainstay for this Dukes team, and when she is on, usually this team is on. A free position opportunity, and there's a good look at Coach Clay's trying to rally her troops right down the middle.
Another
Josephson.
Another great save for Josephson.
So
Starting to think the Dukes should not shoot low.
That's 8 saves from Mel Josephson. Moyer has 9.
Yet look at the score.
Yeah.
Tells you something about the defending of the Cavaliers and the shooting accuracy of the Cavaliers, just cleaner all together on the night.
Which there's a save that we called that apparently they didn't count for Moyer, so she's not in double digits yet. Here's Epke, and really good defense by Sofredo.
Until it was a foul.
But a foul.
Yeah, or at least a called foul.
All right, a free position chance for the Cavaliers. Or excuse me, for the Dukes, as Maddie Epke was offline, but it remains JMU possession. Nice pass from Matthews.
Yeah, nice skip pass.
Epke tried to split through the middle.
Not really sure how that wasn't a foul, but, you know, for someone who played the game, you think I'd have a better understanding of the rules, but, you know, I still struggle a bit.
Now the Cavaliers on the break. The Dukes were chasing. Laverghetta, she's been a problem for this Dukes defense so far.
And it's crazy to think of all 9 goals we have not called DiNardo's name all that often, and I know that was, you know, a main goal for the coaching staff. Felt like, you know, if you could limit DiNardo.
Oh, how about that? Sofredo does it again for the Who's.
Yeah, and the Cavaliers attack is saying, hey, DiNardo is special for us, but we got a whole host of other players who can score goals.
Peyton Sofredo, the freshman, 3 goals in this game. Right down the middle. I mean, that was a beautiful pass as well.
Yeah, the JMU, you know, defense is going to go. It's just the slides are coming, and the cuts from the Cavaliers are just, they're waiting till the defender turns their head, and then they're popping into the 8-meter, and they've just quite honestly been wide open on a lot of occasions. doing a great job, finishing their opportunities. Cavaliers' attack is just clicking on all levels right now.
18 shots for UVA. 16 of those have been on goal. JMU, they're not far behind. They have 14 shots, 12 on frame, but it's been a combination, at least from what I've heard here, Nora, of really, really good play from Josephson in the cage, but also maybe a few missed opportunities for the Dukes.
Yeah, I mean, not just Josephson in the cage, but a defense that is really limiting quality scoring opportunities.
And that's going to do it for the first half of play. What a performance on the road so far for the Virginia Cavaliers. A 10 spot through 30 minutes of action and a bevy of different characters stepping up to add to this storyline. Peyton Sofredo leading both teams with 3 goals in this game and a big second half coming up here in Centera Park. We take a break and get you ready for halftime on ESPN Plus.
Nestled in the heart of the Shenandoah Valley, Cross Keys Vineyards is all about experiences, the unique spaces, the exquisite views, the delicious bistro creations, and of course, the award-winning wine, all combined to create experiences you will never forget with those you love most. And when you bring home a bottle of wine from Cross Keys Vineyards, you bring part of that experience home with you. Come experience all that Cross Keys Vineyards has to offer you. Reservations available online at crosskeysvineyards.com.
is proud to support the JMU Dukes. And with gig speeds, we're keeping things real, as in real reliable speeds, real people who really want to talk to you, not to mention real simple pricing. Switch to Glo Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month of internet free. Call 1-833-WANT-GLO or visit glowfiber.com to switch today. Faster, better fiber internet. Now that's Glo Fiber. Go Dukes!
It is a beautiful day here at Centera Park for some women's lacrosse. James Madison trailing right now to the visiting Virginia Cavaliers 10-3. Let's take a look at the AAC conference right now. South Florida at the top, James Madison right next to him. Of course, only one game in the books. Now, what you don't see is the University of Florida on that graphic. That's because they're no longer in the AAC, the team that James Madison has lost to back-to-back years in the conference championship. They are picked to finish first in this conference this season. You have Old Dominion 1-0 to start, and the AAC, a very competitive conference overall. In South Florida, 7-2. You have Old Dominion 7-3. Of course, ODU, a big Sun-Belt school and most other sports, just like James Madison. And well, we could talk for hours about the ACC and everything that transpires in regards to their talent. Look at this graphic. This is all the teams in the top 20 of the ACC. Boston College, North Carolina, Stanford, Syracuse. That's 4 teams in the top 10 alone. UVA, Duke, Clemson, and Notre Dame. 8 teams in the top 20. That's essentially half. It is ridiculous, Nora.
Yeah, and Stanford has really been rebounding after being down for a couple years, and they have just jumped back into the action, climbing back into the top 10, again with a big win against University of Virginia, and Syracuse and Johns Hopkins had an unbelievable game, you know, a couple in the last week, but it is an ACC. I wish, well, maybe I don't wish the ACC was up and running when I was playing, but yeah, that North Carolina team, when they played JMU at the beginning of the season, they looked like they were going to be dominant this year, and they certainly have been.
UVA has already played 3 of the teams you see on that graphic, Duke, North Carolina, and Stanford. So you see it The competition in the ACC, well, it is no joke, and it's proven right now. Virginia with a 10-3 lead over James Madison here at Centera Park. We'll get you ready for the second half after the break on ESPN+.
Behind every team is a great community. Door Gorilla is proud to be the official garage door provider for JMU Athletics and proud to support their community. When you need a garage door, call 540-740-DOOR and show your support for JMU this season. Go Dukes!
Why is Commonwealth One the one for you?
Because it meant the one with heated seats and a hybrid engine.
Because our daughter's got only 3 credits to go before graduation.
Because it means one less stop before heading home.
For over 75 years, Commonwealth One has been the one, committed to helping our members and our communities thrive. So whether you're a longtime resident or just new to our community, come home to the best banking experience you've ever known.
Commonwealth One, for you, for life.
Just about 45 minutes to an hour that separate these two sides. Virginia with a 10-3 lead in this top 15 matchup. We won't tease it anymore. One more break here on ESPN Plus, and the second half will be underway.
Nestled in the heart of the Shenandoah Valley, Cross Keys Vineyards is all about experiences, the unique spaces, the exquisite views, the delicious bistro creations, and of course the award-winning wine, all combined to create experiences you will never forget with those you love most. And when you bring home a bottle of wine from Cross Keys Vineyards, you bring part of that experience home with you. Come experience all that Cross Keys Vineyards has to offer you. Reservations available online at crosskeysvineyards.com.
is proud to support the JMU Dukes. And with gig speeds, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention real simple pricing. Switch to Glow Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet. And your first month of internet free. Call 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiber.com to switch today. Faster, better fiber internet. Now that's Glow Fiber. Go Dukes!
Not our night so far.
American Athletic Conference here on ESPN Plus, and James Madison, the home team, trailing by 7 right now. The Virginia Cavaliers, number 12 in the country, with 10 goals scored in the first 30 minutes of play. Nora McGuire-White, David Hovey on hand. Well, as we reflect back on that first half, I think the obvious thing is Virginia has a lot of players they can go to score, but as you were thumbing through those first half stats and just watching it, what stood out the most?
Yeah, I mean, David, you said it. First of all,
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
I keep taking it.
That's okay. That's okay. We showed the schedules in the conference. UVA has had no break in the tension, so they've had to be on their edge every day in practice, knowing they're playing teams in the top 10 again and again and again. JMU has had this break from games, and they're in an easier conference, which means that this is still a very good JMU team that can still very well win the conference, get into the tournament. But when you know, hey, tomorrow I'm playing number 3, next day I'm playing, next game I'm playing number 5. There's a tension and a commitment, a focus, and an intensity that you're seeing from the Cavaliers that you're just not seeing out of the Dukes. And there's one thing you never know until you know, and that is when you lose one of the most legendary players that's ever put on a JMU uniform in Isabella Peterson. Until she's gone, you know that you have to try to replace, you don't replace Isabella Peterson, but you know other people have to pick up the slack. But until you arrive, it's hard to do that. When JMU needed a goal so often, Peterson was the one to do that. It puts a huge load on Maddie Epke. Maddie Epke looks like she's wearing like a heavy weight right now.
Yeah. And
JMU has just not found the answers. And it is a transition year for the Dukes, even though I know the coaching staff doesn't want to talk about that too much. And it's going to take a little while for them to find themselves. Whether that happens in the span of this year, I'm sure they're going to play some great games against good opponents and potentially, win the conference. But I just don't know. This UVA team has rebounded, and it's been really, really neat to see how sharp they look tonight.
Well, when we look back at that first half and the highlights that come along with it, it has been the young players, which we already knew about stepping up for UVA. And for James Madison, you have Savannah Derry, who put 2 goals through the cage on 6 shots. You also had Olivia Matthews with a goal on 3 shots. For the Dukes, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board and find some more success. For Virginia, what a game it has been for Peyton Sofredo. My goodness, she has just been ripping through the James Madison defense. And you also have Kate Gallico with 2 goals. And you pointed this out, Nora. DiNardo, the leading scorer on this Who's team, she's only got 1 goal through the first 30 minutes of play. I think that tells you Virginia is more than comfortable saying, okay, you want to take DiNardo out of the picture, we'll go to somebody else. Is that correct to say?
Yeah, I mean, and as a goal-scoring attacker, I know when my team needed a goal, I wanted the ball. What you're seeing from this UVA attack is there's 2, 3, 4, 5 players that want the ball. They're cutting hard to goal. They're showing a lot of confidence on their shots. And when JMU has the ball down on their end, you just don't see that same energy, intensity, precision. JMU is only off 14 to 18 in shots, down by 4. Yet you look at the score differential, you've got players that have to shoot with confidence and finish. Otherwise you got to find somebody else who can do that for you.
Now, somebody we have not mentioned is Kate Miller. Kate Miller is not playing right now for UVA in this game, but she was a preseason All-ACC selection for the Cavaliers that they've had to go without for a little bit of time. And, I have to wonder if maybe, obviously you don't want one of your best players to go down. But in some ways, if that helped them, forcing them to say, okay, we can't just rely on 1 or 2 players, and it allowed these freshmen and these sophomores that we're seeing step up.
Yeah, we see Chloe Bleckley doing a nice job getting the ball in the attacking zone for the Dukes. Derry had 5 shots early in the first quarter, right, and 2 goals, and then just disappeared. Again, part because of the shifting and the danger and the pressure in the Cavalier defense. But, the Dukes have got to have a couple players that just go earn something.
Oh, Olivia Mattis, you can't give her space like that because she does things like that. Plenty of room for Olivia Mattis, and right on cue, Nora, it's goal number 4 for the Dukes.
I would like to argue that every high-level team needs to have at least a couple players that can simply rip the ball from the outside. Olivia Mattis can absolutely do that, and she needs to expect herself to shoot and score more often. I think part of why Olivia Mattis, in my opinion, has not been more impactful for the Dukes is just confidence. Yeah. She hasn't been shooting enough, and she hasn't been finishing enough. She can do that multiple times a game and then draw the defense out and create better openings for the JMU, and I hope that is a breakthrough for her right now.
Mattis, one of the leaders and one of just the more experienced players, a redshirt senior out of Lakeville, Minnesota, also a captain for this Dukes team. 6 goals stepping into this game. And here's arguably the most important battle, Gallica versus Epke on the draw.
The other thing that you talk about, just when you can win the draws and you are in possession, I don't want to say you get complacent, but Maddie Epke has won so many draws for the Dukes this season that maybe, the offense has taken for granted how important it is to be efficient. you know, tonight we're seeing that level out, and it's benefiting the Cavaliers and really hurting the Dukes.
Got to give credit there. Number 9 for UVA, that's Sophia Conti. She had the scoop up to give Cavaliers possession.
You talked about that deficit that the Cavaliers had against the Dukes coming back to win, against Duke and coming back to win. This is a game of runs, and by no stretch of the imagination is this game over.
Well, an important third quarter for James Madison. You see Olivia Rongo. There's a few Olivias on this team. Yeah, 2 players take a spill. And the pressure from the Cavaliers have given JMU fits. This time a foul called. So there's Olivia Rongo, junior out of West Hampton, New York. 6 ground balls this season, 4 caused turnovers. Here's the collision.
So it was tough to see it. The UVA defender looked like she got a little bit of a head check, and then the oncoming defender looked like tried to take a charge, and that is a green card for the Cavaliers. JMU goes a woman up at a time where it would be great for the Dukes offense to get a little bit of a run with goals here.
Oh, this is a big, big opportunity for James Madison. A woman up for the Dukes. They've already picked up a goal via Olivia Mattis. Around the horn. Epke, nice pass.
A little bit forced. Considering you're a woman up, that's a little bit forced into Manila there. Would have liked to have seen the Dukes wait a little bit more for a better opening. They're fortunate to regain control here.
Uh-oh, here it is. A lot of space. Epke. Oh, and she got hit. She's holding her head. No foul called. That's Maggie Clark. Epke fires it through. Plenty of steam for Maddie Epke.
Some frustration, I think, came out in the velocity of that shot. And again, when JMU can demonstrate that they can score from the outside, which obviously both Epke and Mathis can, it's going to open up the inside of the 8-meter more. So this could be a really good thing for the Dukes. That's Clark from behind the goal. Yep, getting the ball out to Bleckley. Epke said, I'm tired of trying to get underneath and getting hit in the head and drawing triple teams. Just rips this by.
Maddie Epke, she now needs 4 goals to hit 100 career goals with the Dukes. And now James Madison trails by 5. So Olivia Mattis and Maddie Epke now in the scoring column for JMU. In a 10-5 game. Epke and Gallica, they've been battling it out. This is such a good matchup in the draw circle. And Gallica comes away with it. I mean, it is so much fun watching those two compete.
It is, you know, Epke is not used to this, and Gallica has taken this role tonight, trying to even out the draws for the Cavaliers against one of the best draw control specialists in the country, pretty personally, and she's doing a heck of a job.
Last season, when these two sides squared off, UVA beat JMU, who was number 7 at the time, 12-8. And now a foul called on the far side. So Kate Gallica will have it in the stick.
JMU had 12 fouls to the Cavaliers' 5 in the first half, and they don't seem to be slowing down that trend. Gallica
sprints forward and puts it past Moyer.
wasn't necessarily a ton of power on that shot, but just in the most difficult spot for a goalkeeper to save, that weak side right hip pocket type of spot. You could hear from up here the JMU defender sticks getting on that, but Gallica just does a really nice job, really tight space, just finding that right spot. Moyer just cannot get her stick across quick enough.
She's got 3 goals on 4 shots now for the Cavaliers. Gallica, a preseason All-American, preseason All-ACC, ACC Freshman of the Year last season.
Conestoga High School, I believe, JMU alumni Jen Gicking played at Conestoga and may even be, I don't know, Gick, if you're out there listening, I think may even be coaching up that way.
Kate Gallica, who is 7th in the nation in draws per game, 1st in the ACC at 9.63. And of course, we've went through the numbers of Maddie Epke and what she has done. That's what makes this such a good competition, and Epke comes away with this one. So James Madison will have possession. They've already tallied 2 goals here in the 3rd quarter.
JMU has opened things up a little bit, kind of spreading out the attack, trying to stretch out the JMU defense and open up these seams a little bit more.
Looked like Derry thought about a shot. Patient approach right now. Peterson, out of Epke. Pass inside. The shot is good by Manella.
That's reminiscent of Caitlin Morgan from last year. Just those around the corner, up cuts from the bottom, around the side. We have not seen too much of that. The Dukes are trying to reestablish somebody that can be dangerous at X. Peterson moves that ball over to Epke, and Epke just, again, that upcut. When you score from the outside and the double teams are coming to avoid that happening again, that opens up the lower side of the 8-meter, and Manila takes full advantage of that for the Dukes.
Bri Manella, who is stepping into this game with a career 17 goals and 17 assists. She's got a goal and an assist in this game. So 3 different goal scorers here to start the second half. Manella out of Denville, New Jersey, the junior, has 3 goals on the season now, along with 3 assists. I mean, it's a 1-to-1 ratio across the board. Epke, that's a quick one.
Second draw control that Maddie Epke has been able to, and she is at her best when she can draw to herself. Don't leave it to chance for anyone on the outside of the circle. You could see that Gallica was kind of nodding, trying to get her teammate to move into a certain spot, but when you can draw to yourself, those on the outside of the circle don't really matter too much. Jordan Peterson back in the game. Olivia Mattis back out there. Matthews, Manila, Derry.
Derry was used a lot in the first quarter.
Jordan Peterson was pretty open there, just timing wasn't right.
Epke. Here's Mattis. She thought about a shot, passed it up to Derry.
Really good slides there by the Cavaliers.
Pass in the middle. Derry has it and puts it through. Savannah Derry, her 3rd goal of the game, and James Madison starting to heat up with the sticks.
Yeah, Bri Manila seems to be getting a little bit more comfortable. Again, I can't say enough about how the outside shot opens up lanes and seams. Bri Manila gets this ball. Savannah Derry's the second cutter through the 8-meter. She's wide open, but the slide comes, and Derry does a great job being patient and getting around the shoulder of that second defender and just manipulating that ball past the goalkeeper.
All right, well, we're going to stay here. The timeout on the pitch. I mean, we talked about that first half, and you were bragging on the UVA defense and the offense. They both were clicking. Now it seems like it's the opposite. James Madison is finding their momentum. They now trail by 4 goals. What has been the difference early on in this third quarter?
I mean, for any young players out there listening, its mindset is not talked about enough. Virginia was locked in with their plan with a really competitive, aggressive, attacking mindset on both the defensive end and the attacking end. JMU went in and out of that, but you haven't yet. You're now seeing for the first time a JMU attack that is putting the defense under pressure and causing them to be uncomfortable. Those 2 outside shots, those 2 outside goals by Mattis and Epke have opened up the 8-meter and things to happen from underneath. So the slides that were working for the Cavaliers in the first half aren't now working the same way. So now, again, it becomes a chess match and to see who's going to make the right adjustments. Are the Cavaliers going to adjust and be able to shut down this run of the Dukes, or are the Dukes going to continue? It's what I love about this game. Cool.
It has been good, and James Madison, they have really been firing in this third quarter. The numbers as they stand right now, 19 shots for UVA. JMU just one behind with 18. It's the same thing with shots on goal, 17-16 lead for the Cavaliers.
And even though, there was just a really good shot of Brie Manila, Olivia Matthews, and Maddie Epke, and even though that the Dukes are still down by 4 goals, you see Manila with a big smile on her face. They just look like they're getting a little looser, and it's just a reminder, this is a young JMU Dukes team, and even the players that are not freshmen or sophomores, they're finding their role or their different role. Brie Manila is a junior. She hasn't spent a lot of time playing X, but, so she looks like she's getting a little bit more comfortable in that role, and yeah, we'll see. We know the draw has been key, so part of the reason JMU has been on this run is because Epke's been able to draw to herself.
Epke's hoping to keep that up. And UVA comes away with it.
Looked like Maggie Clark had that ball. It just got scooped right out of her stick.
Dead sprint for DiNardo. Now veering to her right, and Moyer picks up the block.
That is the thing I love most, that, again, any other goalkeepers or young goalkeepers watching, her positioning, the way Moyer stepped up with her right foot to close the angle for DiNardo, beautiful save by Moyer.
DiNardo was ready, and Moyer was ready for that one. It looked kind of lazy off the stick. There might have been a bit of a ricochet.
Yeah, I think that was partially blocked.
Either way, it's a stop for the Dukes, and now James Madison on the clear. UVA's been relentless with the pressure on the defensive end. And James Madison, oh, nice misdirection.
Good little flick by Bleckley.
Now ahead, Matthews shoots and scores. The Dukes trying to bang down the door here in Harrisonburg.
And you've got to give the coaching staff a ton of credit. Whatever was said in the locker room, and Shelly Claces can be very fiery. She's certainly passionate. And just some changes. We see Olivia Rongo, we see Jordan Peterson. Brie Manila was in there in the first half, but she's got a new fire lit underneath her. And the Dukes have some joy going here.
If you're not having fun, I don't know what to tell you. JMU heating up. They trail by 3 on ESPN Plus. And how about the shot from Olivia Matthews to cap it off?
Behind every team is a great community. Door Gorilla is proud to be the official garage door provider for JMU Athletics and proud to support their community. When you need a garage door, call 540-740-DOOR and show your support for JMU this season. Go Dukes!
Why is Commonwealth One the one for you?
Because it meant the one with heated seats and a hybrid engine.
Because our daughter's got only 3 credits to go before graduation.
Because it means one less stop before heading home.
For over 75 years, Commonwealth One has been the one, committed to helping our members and our communities thrive. So whether you're a longtime resident or just new to our community, come home to the best banking experience you've ever known.
Commonwealth One, for you, for life.
Yeah, I mean, you really could not have asked for much better weather than what we have right now. A gentle breeze up in the penthouse suite of Centera Park for me and Nora, but I'm sure it feels even better down on the field. And it's got to feel good for James Madison right now and what they've done in the third quarter. 5-1 in this quarter alone. It was UVA with a 10-3 lead stepping into the second half. But JMU has now outscored them 5-1. Part of that has been Epke winning draws this time. Gallica will get a win. Kate Gallica and Maddie Epke have been battling it out, and the Cavaliers with a 13-9 lead in draw controls so far.
Yeah, I mean, you hate to say the Cavaliers kind of needed that. I mean, they're still up by 3 goals, but Gallica just won that draw at a really important moment for the Cavaliers, try to stop the bleeding and put another one on the board.
Moyer has 11 saves in the cage for James Madison. Defense has really ramped it up as well, led by Carolyn Thistlewaite. Good scoop by Madison Alimo. Addie Foster and Madison Alimo, 2 players we haven't harped on a ton in this game, but they are 2 of the best creators on this Cavaliers side, especially Alimo and what she has done. 25 assists this season. That is 12th in the nation. Oh, nice pass inside. Foster, guess who it is? Moyer, again. Virginia still with possession, but Adania Moyer has been lights out for the Dukes here in this one. 12 saves. Mel Josephson's not too far behind, however, for the Cavaliers. She's also been really impressive. Next to the 8-meter, Foster was surveying. Now we got a foul.
Just when it looked like the Duke slides and had gotten just cleaner and a little bit more pressured, the Cavaliers are going to have one right up the heart here.
It's going to be right down the middle for Alex Riley. The 2024 USA Lacrosse Jackie Pitts Award. Riley gets it past Moyer. Alex Riley, who scored 4 goals this season, tallies her first of the day. And again, it's another freshman for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, right up the middle. Moyer just missed this just a little bit, just scoots by Moyer's left foot there. Good finish, good finish.
And that's a tough one. I mean, it was right down Main Street for Riley. And UVA has simmered things down just a little bit after such a hot start for JMU in this third quarter. 6 minutes left, and you see plenty of emotion on the side of the Cavaliers. Just like JMU, this is a game that means much more than adding another win into their win column. It is, I think it's deeper than bragging rights. I don't think that's a fair estimate of what this means for these players and these coaches. Gallica and Epke, we've talked about it all night long. And Gallica gets it herself. Enough can't be said about Kate Gallica in this game out of Wayne, Pennsylvania. She's got 9 draw controls.
And quite honestly, I'm a little bit surprised. You see number 29 on the sidelines for the Dukes, Harlow Healy, a freshman from Deerfield Academy in Massachusetts. In the moments that we've seen Maddie Epke not winning super consistently, they brought Healy in, and she's done a great job winning some draw controls. And I'm a little bit surprised there hasn't been a switch just to give the Cavalier draw control specialist who's having a great day something different to look at.
It's Jordan Peterson, or excuse me, Olivia Rongo, that was number 19.
Yeah, who's done a really nice job in this third quarter. Jordan Peterson's back on the field now.
Olivia Matthews, so superb for the Dukes. Madison. You see a collapse from the UVA defense and a foul called.
Yellow card.
And that's a big one. So now stepping off for UVA is Lara Kolegi. She is, I mean, arguably one of the best defenders on this team for the Cavaliers. She's going to sit out with a yellow card. So not a green card. That is a 2-minute sit out. And James Madison now a woman up. This feels like a have to cash in moment for the Dukes.
Yeah, and there's plenty of time left in the game. Last time the Dukes were woman up, Maddie Epke kind of forced a pass down onto the crease, caused a turnover, and don't need to rush it. There's time enough to move the ball. Yeah, it looks like we've got a little bit of a different set going for the Dukes here. They want to create a, it's like you're not going to have a wide open opportunity, but you want to have your scoring percentage, you know, go up.
Oh, Madison. Jordan Peterson to Epke. Still plenty of time on the shot clock, 45 seconds. The Dukes have time to work. Peterson splitting defenders, but Mel Josephson is there.
That was a fantastic move by Peterson and an even better save by Josephson.
I mean, the hard work from Peterson with 2 defenders corralling. She got the shot off, but it has been a tremendous night for Josephson. 9 saves in this game, but JMU still a woman up, and there you see Lara Kolegi. She's a transfer from the University of Florida. Spent 2 seasons with the program, did miss 2023 with an injury, but played in all 23 games last year with the Gators. And of course, Florida women's lacrosse, they have been a thorn in the side of James Madison. They've been a thorn in the side for most of the country, for crying out loud. Cavaliers staying patient. Obviously, they're a woman down. Now, they're also on the attack right now. Long pass from DiNardo, and Sofredo was cutting in. And now, here's Addie Foster. 8 seconds on the shot clock, and Virginia puts one through. And now, they're going to crease violation.
Perhaps, is that,
I think that's what was called. So it's not going to be a goal for the Cavaliers. The shot clock was under 10. I mean, that is my best guess at what was called. We apologize for not having you what we know is the for sure call. But what we do know is it's no goal and a chance for James Madison. But no longer a woman up. Kolegi is back out on the pitch for the Cavaliers.
Dukes need to lock it back down, get that confidence that they had going. Challenge. The UVA defense is stepping out. There we go. That
Manella off the post. It was a pretty shot, but the post had different intentions.
Another really good cut from low to high for Manella, and just did a good thing there.
Matthews.
When that double team extends and presses, we've got the Dukes need cutters to come across the box. Take
Kolige
advantage of that.
was the one defending Matthews.
The UVA defense is extending themselves, putting pressure on the ball handler, and the only way you keep that extension from happening is making them pay by getting really good cuts across the 8-meter.
All the way around the horn. Here's Epke. Manilang's defending. Epke decided not to take a shot. Now in the middle for Derry. Decides not to take the shot because she found a better one with Savannah Derry right in front of the cage. 4 goals for Derry in this game, and James Madison just trails by 3. So let's go back first off. There was one put through by UVA that was called back. And you see, there was a crease violation. Jenna DiNardo did a great job. And then, obviously, here's Derry.
Quick flick of the wrist.
Yes.
Maybe she gets that flick of the wrist from her jump shot in basketball. I'm not sure, but that was JMU was really patient in attack. They had a couple of good shots. They passed that up for a great shot.
Derry, 17 goals as a sophomore last year. She has 19 goals stepping into this game, and she has 4 goals here against UVA. 27 seconds left in the third quarter. We're going to have a quick conversation with an official and Coach Clays.
I think JMU might have been trying to sneak an extra player on the field.
Well, good eye by our officials. Time winding down here in the third, 27 seconds. We've surveyed this battle all night long, but it's the most crucial spot in this game, and Maddie Epke is the one that comes away with it. So JMU, not a lot of time to work, 20 seconds. They've got to get going and get going quick. And that pass a bit too high for Derry.
Just that Matthews, every so often, she's shown great maturity. She's played many minutes so far this season. Just a little bit of a freshman mistake, trying to force that, down the lane to Derry. Derry's tall, not quite that tall.
We have played a full 45 minutes here in Harrisonburg. A top 15 matchup and 2 top teams clashing right now at Centera Park. A 3-goal lead for the Cavaliers over the Dukes, 12-9. But it's James Madison who is storming back in this game. Outscored UVA 6-2 in the third. We head to the final 15 minutes of play here on ESPN Plus after the break.
Nestled in the heart of the Shenandoah Valley, Cross Keys Vineyards is all about experiences, the unique spaces, the exquisite views, the delicious bistro creations, and of course the award-winning wine, all combined to create experiences you will never forget with those you love most. And when you bring home a bottle of wine from Cross Keys Vineyards, you bring part of that experience home with you. Come experience all that Cross Keys Vineyards has to offer you. Reservations available online at crosskeysvineyards.com.
is proud to support the JMU Dukes. And with gig speeds, we're keeping things real, as in real reliable speeds, real people who really want to talk to you, not to mention real simple pricing. Switch to Glo Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month of internet free. Call 1-833-WANT-GLO or visit glowfiber.com to switch today. Faster, better fiber internet. Now that's Glo Fiber. Go Dukes!
you can't ask for a better matchup than what we have right now. Number 12, Virginia, and number 14, James Madison, battling out here in Centera Park. An AAC versus ACC matchup. Both sides have started conference play already, and the Dukes have fought back here in this one. A third quarter, that was a 6-2 scoreline in favor of James Madison, but the first half was a 10-3 scoreline in favor of Virginia. We've got 15 minutes left to go in this one, and two sides that would love a win. UVA 5-3 on the season, James Madison 5-2. The Dukes picked to finish at the top of the AAC. Virginia picked to finish third in what is an insane ACC conference. The storyline this season for Virginia has been the young talent that has stepped up on offense. 78 of 110 goals scored have been by either freshmen or sophomores, and nothing has changed in this game. Two players with 3 goals for the Cavaliers. Kate Gallica has 3. She's a sophomore. And then you have Peyton Sofredo, who has 3 goals, and she's a freshman. For James Madison, Savannah Derry leads in the scoring column with 4 goals on 8 shots, and Olivia Matthews with 2 goals on 4 shots. Well, we've had a good time. We hope y'all have as well. I mean, I think this is exactly what you would expect when you look at this matchup on paper. Two teams that are very even, as you see a change in the cage. Now for Virginia, it's Abby Jansen. So, Mel Josephson, who started this game for the Cavaliers, we talked about it in the open. They've used 2 goalkeepers this season. They're going to give the nod now to the senior in Jansen, who played the final 40 minutes against Duke last game with 5 saves and 3 goals allowed. Jansen out of Newton Square, Pennsylvania. She's played in 4 games this season. And they're going to be a crucial 15 minutes for the senior in the cage. Talk about crucial. This will also be. It's not Maddie Epke in the draw battle right now. It's going to be the freshman. And the senior, Ryan Mafia. So Mafia loses the draw battle. Kate Gallica's been tremendous.
That is interesting to see Malfa in there. I don't know that she's taken too many draw controls yet this season, as opposed to Harlow Healy, who we've seen come in and be impactful.
Excuse me, Ryan Malfa. So Malfa came in. Of course, Maddie Epke, if you've been watching along on this broadcast, you know by now that she is one of the best in the country at getting draw controls. And James Madison.
Okay, we are now being told that that was not Malfa, that Maddie Epke had blood on her jersey and had to change her jersey number.
Okay, well, there is a 34 on the roster for James Madison. That is Ryan Malfa, but it's going to be Maddie Epke who wears that now for the Dukes. She is primarily number 20. Now it's number 34. We'll see if there's a bit of a LeBron James or Michael Jordan effect now. LeBron going from 23 to 6, back to 23. The Dukes have possession. Savannah Derry has been on fire for James Madison, leads both sides in scoring with 4 goals.
Epke skip past Clark. I thought Clark had the better lane to goal, but plenty of time still here on the shot clock for the Dukes, spinning this thing around the horn.
Matthews surveys. Now the shot puts it past Jansen. The fourth quarter starts with a bang for the Dukes.
Now that takes vision. That's the type of feed, that skip pass diagonal to the opposite 8 meter from Olivia Matthews that shows that she can do great things during her career there. Opposite 8 meter to a streaking Bleckley with a really solid finish. That's so tough for the goalkeeper to turn almost 180 degrees from the origin of the feed to track the shooter, that it makes the shot easier for the shooter to score.
So get this, Chloe Bleckley, the freshman out of Newton Square, Pennsylvania, gets the goal on the goalkeeper in the senior Jansen out of Newton Square, Pennsylvania.
Go PA representing, and I think we've got some JMU alumni coaching up that way, if I am correct.
How about Maddie Epke? I'm going to have to get used to seeing 34 in white and not 20 for the remainder of this one, but she wins the draw. And this is a 2-goal game now, Nora. Virginia, who was so good to start this game, it has been the Dukes on the front foot in this second half.
If there was someone recording the halftime speech by Coach Clace, it might be going viral on YouTube right now, because we've just seen a different JMU Dukes team in this second half.
They've caught fire. There's no doubt about it. Matthews, she was the one that created the opening for Bleckley. Now you have Epke. Here's Maggie Clark.
And part of that change in personnel, we've seen Jordan Peterson. We see Caitlin Carney again, number 7 out there. Just giving this defense, some different looks.
Madison weaving around.
Yeah, I thought she had a lane there, but continues to keep possession. 20 seconds left still, plenty of time.
Clark. Now 15 on the shot clock.
Yeah, JMU needs some cutters to come through, or they're going to find themselves in a difficult position with not too much time left.
Under 10, pass in the middle. Good block by Jansen. There's a scrum just outside the crease, and it's picked up by the Cavaliers and Abby Manalang, but now it's stripped.
Maggie Clark comes up
with the defense. Manalang did a great job for UVA to win the scrum, and Clark with a good trail.
And David, we have so many opposing coaches that we do interviews with that want to come in to play against JMU because of their fight and their fire and their grit. We really didn't see that much of that in the first half, but in the second half, you really see JMU digging for these caused turnovers and ground balls.
Bleckley, she's already got a goal in this quarter. A really good block by Manalang. Her defense has been tremendous in the past minute. I mean, she's been tremendous all season long, don't get me wrong. How about the pass? Now in the middle, far side. Adania Moyer
coming to get that ground ball when her team needs it. That just shows unbelievable senior leadership. A little bit careless on transition there by the Dukes.
Now Sofredo splitting the defense. The crowd has gotten into it.
Yeah, including Adania's dad, who is just play-by-playing it up here. Super, super intense. You gotta love it. Hey, listen. The parents have invested a lot of time, emotion, energy, money, in their daughters to be in the positions that they are, and they are so passionate about this. The rivalry runs past the players to the parents as well.
Addie Foster. The defense chant starting to be inspired here for the Dukes. Here's Gallica.
JMU is doing a better job, the defense being concerted about staying out of the shooting space. You saw Cuviello just leaning to get her stick into the lane a couple seconds ago. Offensive.
How about that? The defense by Ava Bleckley, the sister of Chloe. She was passionate after that call. We've got another foul.
Chloe's played a lot of minutes. Her legs are starting to look a little bit tired. That was a little bit forced, that pass, and the Dukes are lucky to get that back.
Reese Cuviello, 24 in white. She's drifting through traffic.
That's just nail-biting there for the JMU coaching staff on the side. If she's going to get through that triple team, Cuviello there, just taking care of business on her own, getting it into the attacking end.
Well, Coach Claza spoke really highly of Cuviello. She said she wants her with the ball as much as possible.
has had a really outstanding freshman season so far.
That's the scariest part about both of these teams. They are led by a really, really young core. I mean, they're already amazing this season.
JMU needs to get back to, they're moving it around the horn, but they need to, you see Darian Epke coming, Madison coming through the middle. JMU needs to get those cuts coming through the 8-meter because this UVA defense is so good at the top of the 8-meter fan.
Savage. 2 defenders on Epke. She spins to her right.
May have hit her teammate there, to be honest.
Who wins it on the far side? It's the Cavaliers.
That was just
Addie
great
Foster.
desire there by Foster.
Yeah. What a play from Addie Foster. Coach LaMonica had a lot to say about Foster and what she brings. A really high IQ player, great vision and size, and just has great presence on the left side of the field. And the biggest thing she said was she's just growing more and more with her confidence as a young player. And that's the case for a lot of these Who's for UVA. So foul called.
Yeah, Rongo has been a presence, consistent presence in the second half on the defensive end for the Dukes.
That was over the stick of Josie Pell, the defender for the Dukes. Shot clock now at 30.
Yeah, the Cavaliers are not going to mind taking most of the time off the shot clock. Sometimes that makes it a little bit difficult to get things going, but you know who's trying to take it over there for the Cavaliers in this moment.
Right now, DiNardo's trying to weave through traffic, finds the pass, but great defense just outside the crease. DiNardo got it poked away by Savage, but they call a foul. So now, Savage.
Yeah, let's look at that again. DiNardo trying to make things happen for her team before the shot clock runs out.
So Savage is now going to have to sit out. I believe it was a green card given.
I think it was yellow.
Oh, was it a yellow?
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
Got my binoculars on, so I can only see so much of the field. Oh, this is big. UVA, a woman up. Savage currently sitting with a yellow card, a 2-minute suspension. And, I mean, this game, you got 6 minutes and 47 seconds left.
That was interesting. Your leading goal scorer in the center hash doesn't take the shot, turns it away to take instead of being able to take some time off the clock.
Trust in the defense. Oh, nice pass from DiNardo, and the beautiful shot. You had the fake first and the finish by Addie Foster.
Beautiful finish by Foster off a really, again, just patience by the Cavaliers' attack. And, yep, over to DiNardo. Obviously a threat from the outside. The crease slide comes from Rongo to the opposite side, leaving Addie Foster open. And Addie Foster does a great job faking and finishing kind of in an open net. Moyer had to come out to try to shut her down.
What a fake by Addie Foster, and UVA with a 3-goal lead. Time is dwindling here at Centera. 6 minutes and 25 seconds left. The Cavaliers a 13-10 lead on ESPN+.
Behind every team is a great community. Door Gorilla is proud to be the official garage door provider for JMU Athletics and proud to support their community. When you need a garage door, call 540-740-DOOR and show your support for JMU this season. Go Dukes!
Why is Commonwealth One the one for you?
Because it meant the one with heated seats and a hybrid engine.
Because our daughter's got only 3 credits to go before graduation.
Because it means one less stop before heading home.
For over 75 years, Commonwealth One has been the one, committed to helping our members and our communities thrive. So whether you're a longtime resident or just new to our community, come home to the best banking experience you've ever known.
Commonwealth One, for you, for life.
Well, it's been an even game here in the fourth quarter. 26 shots for UVA, 25 for JMU. Shots on goal, 23-22. UVA leads. Nora McGuire-White, David Holby on hand. Well, James Madison has been firing back in this second half, but that last goal from Addie Foster felt like a really big moment to get the Cavaliers back on track.
It did. You know, going woman up and then just being patient and waiting for that really, really golden opportunity. Again, got to give it up to DiNardo, who, you know, gave up what she scored on, a great outside shot. And Olivia Rongo jumped to the opposite side of the crease, leaving Addie Foster open. Really beautiful finish.
So these draws become bigger and bigger as this game gets along. Maddie Epke, now wearing number 34, had blood on her jersey, so she had to switch jerseys out. She's facing off against Gallica. 15-11, Cavalier lead in draw controls. And this one goes to Gallica. She has been so solid at the draw circle. That is draw control number 11.
Yeah, Maddie Epke visibly looking frustrated that she didn't win that draw. And again, I'm a little bit surprised that you've not seen JMU go to their backup draw control person, Harlow Healy, the freshman, just to give the Cavaliers a little bit of a different look. But, you know, live or die by your superstar, looks like.
Madison Alimo, 16 for UVA. And a nice steal by Rongo.
That looked to be a good set play coming out of the break for the Cavaliers, but just a drop on that cut. Carolyn Thistlewaite is trying to take care of business and make things happen. Another drop by Derry.
Couldn't corral the pass, but how about Thistlewaite just trucking ahead for the Dukes?
Hey, when you've been around as long as she has, you know, she doesn't want to end her career Thistlewaite, you know, with a loss to the Cavaliers. So she's going to do everything she can to help her team come back and tie this up.
5 minutes in an intense battle between two teams inside the Commonwealth.
Yeah, and if we remember, David, you know, the Dukes,
Mattis,
yep,
weaving through defenders. Olivia Mattis, just what the doctor ordered. The Dukes now trail by 2, 13-11.
I mean, that's so. As I was just about to say, Mattis was the one who got the streak going for the Dukes last time with a just rip of an outside shot. When you can take this outside shot and the team knows it, now she weaves underneath with a good dodge and shows that she can finish outside and inside. Olivia Mattis, you know, as you said, one of the captains, stepping up for her team in a critical moment.
This is so big, and it's worth noting that last draw battle between Epke and Gallica, you mentioned it, Nora, a bit of frustration on the side of Maddie Epke because it's been a tough competition against Gallica. We'll see if she can use that, Epke can, to her favor and pick up what feels like one of the biggest moments in this game. 13-11, Epke and Gallica. Gallica tips it off. Manilang couldn't get it, and now she has it. Abby Manilang. She's had such a good season with the Cavaliers.
Maggie Clark taking a quick tumble there, but getting back in the action. Cavaliers are going to take their time, as they should. they've earned that right. Up by 2, 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Looked there for a little while, David, like the Cavaliers were absolutely going to run over the Dukes at home, but the Dukes at least have really just made this an incredibly competitive contest.
They have, and I mean, at the very least, you credit the resilience JMU has shown, but they're looking for a lot more than that. They want to win, and it's very well within the realm of possibility. Just down by 2 goals. UVA wants to hold on.
JMU's being patient. They're not really extending their defense out. You know, they feel like there's enough time left on the clock if they can just cause a turnover here.
Here's Gallica. 16 on the shot clock. Pass. DiNardo. Couldn't get it. Moyer.
Did Moyer have a save on that?
I think it hit off a defender. It was really hard to tell.
Defender stick.
There was a cluster there inside the crease. And JMU, this is the biggest possession of the game, no doubt. Who do they call on in such a big moment? We know about Maddie Epke. Olivia Mattis has really gotten going. She has the last goal for the Dukes.
Daria, obviously, with 4, can certainly be that person.
You have the freshman in Olivia Matthews, who's dangerous. There's a lot of options, but not a lot of time. Good defense by Sofredo there.
Sofredo has had an outstanding night. Obviously not consistently been on Epke, but has done a really nice job on Maddie Epke.
Well, Maggie Clark had trouble with the pass.
Maddie Epke said, let me handle this one for now.
Peterson. Shot clock under 30. Here's Manila.
Olivia Matthews, really nice cut. Brie Manila was a little slow to pull the trigger there.
Shot clock at 15.
Cavalier sidelines coming to life over here, trying to root their defense on.
Bleckley spinning.
It's not the player necessarily that you want driving through a double team.
5 on the shot clock. Matthews has it. They've got to get a shot off. Down to 3. And now we have a foul. Oh, my goodness.
Bailed out there with...
And that's got to be frustrating for Coach LaMonica. You play perfect defense.
87 seconds.
And now it's a free position. Olivia Matthews on the near side. It's Jansen in the cage. Matthews sparks off, and what a save from Abby Jansen. At a crucial moment in this 4th quarter, the senior steps up. She played the final 40 minutes against Duke last game, and she's looking to close things off in this one for the Cavaliers. What a moment. Matthews had the shot. Oh, wow, and I didn't even see the tip.
Complete block by the Cavaliers defender, just lunging her stick out there. Perfect block.
I mean, the block was so perfect, it looked like it was a hard shot that went directly to Jansen. So the defense that you've been bragging on all night long comes up with a crucial stop on the free position. And now, with time as it is, JMU, I mean, you've got to have a turnover, obviously.
I'm
and
not
a timeout
sure
for UVA.
I'm not sure why it took JMU so long to call a timeout. They have not had the right defense in the last 2 possessions, not personnel-wise, but when you do the math, there wasn't enough time for JMU to wait to run down the shot clock for UVA to take a shot to come back and score 2 goals. So, you know, they're going to have to come out of this timeout pressing out and trying to trap the ball and cause a turnover. Sometimes you see the goalkeeper. We might see Moyer picking up the player closest to the crease so that the double team can happen, but time's certainly running out on the Dukes here.
It is, and I imagine that's a difficult conversation to have right now if you're Coach Clays. I mean, you're within 2 goals, but you're staring at a minute and change.
Yeah, it's a good time to also talk about Michael LaMonica.
Yeah.
You saw him in the huddle there, kind of taking charge of the huddle, talking to the attack particularly about, you know, what they need to do in this moment. And likewise, you see defensive coordinator, Cateri Linville, leading the huddle for the Dukes, talking to her defense about what they need to do to try to win possession back.
Obviously, Michael LaMonica, same last name as head coach. They're married, and they both come over from Towson. And this is a big moment. Of course, you have Cateri Linville, who has been a mainstay with this James Madison organization. She's been a head coach in her own right. She's done a great job with head coach Shelly Clays of not only constructing this team, but developing these players. And time is of the essence right now. If you're James Madison, I imagine the message is scramble and do whatever you can to draw a turnover and force the hand of the Cavaliers. But obviously, shot clock's at 49. If you do the math, you don't have enough time if you're JMU to sit back and wait for a shot.
Yeah, this is the worst. I hated being in this position defensively. You're running around like a chicken with your head cut off. A good offensive team is going to spread it way out. You're just hoping for kind of an overthrow or that somebody will get trapped, allow themselves to get trapped in a double team, but it is no fun to defend in this position. I don't envy the job of the Dukes that the Dukes have in front of them right now.
James Madison's going to need a hero on defense just to get a shot in this game. We talk about them needing stops. They also need 2 goals to even tie it up. And Gallica has it. Flicks it off to DiNardo. DiNardo. Shot clock down to 7. And now a foul. So UVA, obviously you see the 26 seconds left in this one. What a performance it has been for the Cavaliers. A free position here. And the shot put in the cage.
That's going to end things for, end the chances for the Dukes comeback there. Perfectly executed by this Virginia Cavalier offense.
Yet again, it's Addie Foster who steps up in the waning moments to close things out for the Cavaliers. It has been a wonderful battle. I mean, it looked like Virginia was going to run away with this, like you said. James Madison's clawed back, but Addie Foster has shut the door again on James Madison's hopes of getting back in this game.
Yeah, Moyer just dropped down there a little bit too soon. Foster with a hard bounce shot coming back up on that nonstick hip side. That's a really, really tough shot to save. Great finish by Foster.
Foster has 3 goals in the action tonight. And Virginia 14-11 lead. Obviously, barring the unthinkable, UVA will improve their record to 6-3. This is a non-conference matchup. But again, a matchup that means a lot more than a win or a loss in the column.
Yeah, bragging rights, you know, top 15 competition, both these teams.
And there it is. The University of Virginia picks up the win against the Dukes on the road, and a top 15 win at that for the Cavaliers. 14-11, your final score. And what a performance it was all around, and specifically the 3 players that all scored 3 goals, a hat trick for the Cavaliers. Foster, Gallica, and Sofredo, Nora.
Yeah, just a good all-around performance. I mean, Virginia, just start to finish, you have to say, despite an incredible second half for the Dukes and a really brave comeback, the Cavaliers really deserve to walk away with the W tonight.
UVA will now set their sights on Pitt. They'll also play Syracuse after that, and the heat of ACC play is upon the Hoos for James Madison. Their next matchup will be against Old Dominion. That'll be this Saturday. And then they've got to face number 7, Johns Hopkins. What a tough matchup that will be. Well, it's a 3-goal win for the Cavaliers over the Dukes here at Centera Park. So for Nora McGuire-White, I'm David Holby saying so long from Centera. Your final score, Virginia 14, James Madison 11. A reminder, all games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.